When asked about the square, individuals recall specific fragments of it. This comes as no surprise, given that the scale of the square escapes being considered as a unit from the human experience of the city. The MACROPLAZA has suffered from a lack of maintenance that has resulted in several spaces having to be shut down for fears of structural collapse. In 2019, it was announced that due to the lack of public resources, the square would pass on to be managed by a private company. Meanwhile, Monterrey is facing an unprecedented drought that is likely to be irreversible. For centuries, the downtown of Monterrey hosted a multitude of realities, constituting a complex urban setting that carried out functions of entertainment, commerce, and symbolic center of power and identity. Many of these functions can still be seen throughout the MACROPLAZA, evidence of the strong collective memory it hides. There is a need to diversify the administration of the square in order to increase the sense of responsibility over each individual public space. Restructuring the identity of each segment as part of a multi-square can provide a stronger sense of belonging and connection to the longer past of downtown Monterrey. Each of these segments accounts for a range of communities that engage with the public realm in their own way. The recognition is key to the realization that not everything about this multi-square needs to be redesigned. The following descriptions of discrete moments within the imagined multiplaza can illustrate how such adaptations, or the lack of them, can contribute to increasing the resilience of the multi-square, keeping close attention to the past, bioclimatic conditions, and existing communities. On a daily basis, the Zaragoza market attracts dozens of locals to find a range of goods, souvenirs, antiques, and regional cuisine. The market is strategic to the local businesses and vendors of the Morelos Street, as it provides additional selling points and provides a platform to bond a stronger community of traders. On a weekly scale, Saturdays mark the day when the market transforms into a stage, where young local talent plays music and youngsters gather to spend a night of dancing. This spirit for musical expression is a reflection of the longer tradition of Sunday dances carried out in the municipal palace, where the elders gather in a circle and take turns to dance to the rhythm of live orchestra and grupero music.
En Nuevo León se baila la cumbia.
The northernmost section of the multi-square, now renamed as its predecessor, the Plaza Cinco de Mayo, remains an empty space when viewed from a week's perspective. But from a yearly perspective, it becomes Monterrey's civic area by excellence, as it has been witness to crowds of thousands of people gathered to participate in marches, protests, and celebrations, all conducted within this polygon adjacent to the state government palace. Despite the government's efforts to erase the graphic claims of violence, their occurrence sets a reminder that these issues are far from being solved. And so the reminders must continue, for their existence is also a diagnosis of an aware society. The concrete from the elevated courtyard above the Parque Hundido had been suffering from decades of neglect, and the adaptations to secure its structural integrity give place to a new landscape that reminds of the industrial history of Monterrey. 50 years ago, this was a place where people attended for entertainment and relaxation. Today, the season's sculpture exhibition is launched, as it does every few months, showcasing the work of local artists in a public event that seeks to bring art closer to the public realm. For centuries, there was a river here, called Santa Lucia. One of its waterholes served the first settlers as an abundant water source. And when the river was displaced underground, the waterhole remained as a public pool. With the construction of the MACROPLAZA, the pool was demolished and a fountain was built in its place. For decades, the multiple fountains of the MACROPLAZA were a symbol of water abundance, But Monterrey was no exception to the planetary climate crisis. And by the year 2021, the abundance was no more. As the fountain of Monterrey was rendered unsustainable after this moment, it was chosen to spread awareness of that which was lost. During the day, the courtyard surrounding the dry gardens of Santa Lucia provides a space for workers to have lunch and rest before heading back to work. At night, the garden transforms into a spectacle of lights, bringing back the ghost of Santa Lucia and all the life that came with it.